Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Face Off, a West Australian floorball podcast. I'm your host, Alex Crouch.
And I'm Ben Kostrich. And
I'm Pat Raymore.
hey,
there we go.
Special guest for today's episode. How are you feeling, Pat?
Welcome.
Good. No, thank you very much for having me on. It's an honour.
Yeah, it's
Good to be back on the resurgence of the Face Off. I'm excited.
episode 7 of season 2.
Yep.
So we have been putting some stuff out. But yeah, we've just finished up the FWA awards nights. But the first thing we want to tackle really is diving into the thick of the predictions that we put out. And you said you were quite excited seeing us put out the grand final thoughts and considerations.
I know you were staying up till about midnight waiting for the upload the night before the grand final. What have the boys got to say? And then that will inform everything the next day.
So if we go to the start, what were your thoughts firstly of the finals series? What was your sort of standout? And then we'll go into each game.
Great series. I think the standout still of the whole day, as much as I hate to say why losing, because that's just not no one likes
we'll
that.
get
No
we'll
one likes
we'll
that.
get
No
there.
one likes that. No, women's 2, I think, is the highlight definitely for me.
Yep.
With my very biased Raptors opinions. Beating Sharks, who were just guaranteed to win on the day. I looked at Sportsbet the night before. I think it was $1.05
Yep.
to about $8.60, I think. So still put my money on Raptors.
So I think there was two people in this room that thought that could be done, and it was good to see it did get over the line.
It was a dominant display in the end.
No, huge. 5-1. Bunny in net was crazy.
MVP as well.
Took out MVP. Crazy game. Very happy with that.
Yeah, but I was going to say, just diving into that one, because that was the first
game off the rank.
First game of the day, of course. I saw you were coaching alongside
about 4 other or 10
it
others.
looked like it was at a small
So what was the allocation of roles across that group of coaches?
I was the board boy, so I was doing the good old footy as
I saw that.
Did you have little
Facebook,
symbols you put up, like a turtle or something to say,
turtle was
shuttle up?
several times on the whiteboard. There were no pictures, but the word turtle was used several times.
And what's your connotation of the words turtle then?
Turtling in D.
Good.
Come on.
Good.
Yeah.
Good turtle on offense.
I was going to say maybe to one or two of the listeners. What does that mean, Pat? What does it mean to
turtling in D?
Educate the fans.
We're going to sit right in front of the goals, really tight dice 5, get a turnover, we're going to go. You know how turtle sticks its head out when it's like, that's us breaking out a D.
Not bad.
Until then, we're just going to sit in our shell.
And it worked. And that was the strategy drawn up.
5-1, it worked.
Yeah,
5-1.
Conceded the early goal off what I thought was a high stick.
Yeah,
we won't go into that.
I was going to say I saw that on the Raptors socials, actually, Instagram and Facebook. They referred to it as a quote unquote lucky goal.
That was by the words of Bruce Young, but I do agree with him with that one. But a goal's a goal at the end of the day.
This is true.
At the end of the day, it's a goal, and it didn't really matter because we scored 5 others. So
This is true.
Damn. Yeah, it was good to see the Raptors girls get up because the past 2 years they've lost.
And I mean, since this league started, and I think it was 21-22 when it was played at the Rise on a Revo court, essentially.
Yep. Roosters won that one.
We were sitting on top of the table, I'm aware. Trust me.
Yeah, I just want to get that
we
in.
were sitting on top of the table the whole season, barely lost a game, and then got knocked out in a penalty shootout in the prelim. And I was
which
man,
team?
this is brutal. I think it was Wolves back then. Oh no, it might be Lambs. It was Wolves or Lambs, I think. But then they've made the grand final every year since that, and just not won. They've lost to Sharks.
So that's the record is probably worse than LeBron James.
Prelim exit and then just grand final losses. So very happy.
So good to break through.
For some of the initial players to get a win.
Yeah,
massive.
Yeah, I was going to, obviously putting an end to the almost 3-peat from Sharks.
It's easier said than done, isn't it? Dynasties.
It is. And I think it's been a great rivalry over the last 2 or 3 years now as well between those sides in that team, and you just got to wonder what's going to look like next season. Because I think it's a slightly new look Sharks squad as well. Few players in, few players out. They still had my money on the day, but I think the better team won in the end. Obviously, it was a great game to watch though. It was a great game. Set up a great rest of the day because there was a nice bit of back and forth. I think throughout the game.
I got to the end of that game coaching. I was exhausted. So we love that.
Yeah. I think there was a good 10-minute period. I think towards the end of the second where I was like, I think Raptors were winning 2-1, and I was like, if we score now,
Game
that's
on.
the,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the
Like, oh,
shift.
man.
And we need this. And then
3-1.
as soon as it went 3-1,
And
you're
then that did not happen. Yeah,
I think we've seen in every grand final 2-1 leads are the worst.
Yeah, oh,
but
God.
if you can pivot that into a 3-1, you're kind of in the controlling of the game, and it's a dangerous spot to be in. But if you can push through, then it's game over most times.
Yeah, and so obviously first trophy of the day to Raptors, of course. I think first trophy in a couple of years.
Well, our under 16's got up this year as well.
I saw.
JSL, I'm actually not 100% sure on. I know our 14's made the grand final. Could not actually. Not sure if they won that, to be honest. Something I should definitely know. We've still had success over the past few years in JSL, but obviously coming through to summer league stuff.
Yeah.
First trophy in years.
The cabinet's pretty empty.
You know what? Probably since the most crazy three teams.
I was going to say, I think it was
ever.
since then, like with Tom and Kenton and.
Was that with Crouch and Reynolds coaching?
No. We've
post that.
taken a step back at that point,
right.
but still a dominant team.
Very.
Streets won't forget that team, I think. I remember them beating Dragons in that
Div 3
final.
team ever.
And the kids are still talking about it to this day. But a trophy in the cabinet. And
Needed.
I think Div 2 was next on the day.
Well,
was it
and
not?
I think this was my pick of the day.
I think
for the
this was
games.
the one that we said.
This was
that
the
is
most
the trophy.
obvious
It's
victory.
95% in the cabinet already.
I don't think you said, and as expected, pissed off a lot of the Roosters boys. Said we were whitewashed 9-1. I think 9-2.
9-2, I said.
Yeah.
And I've never been more wrong.
Yeah. Do you want to address the camera and just apologise, or maybe just take ownership for the heinous call?
I would like to apologise to all of the players, spectators, coaches, and just fans of Roosters men's Division 2, and also just express my disappointment in Raptors white in doing so as well. Yeah,
that was shocking.
I could not believe it.
They rocked
genuinely.
up. Because you'd look at the score and you'd sort of think, oh, surely they thought they had it in the bag. They rocked up so ready to play. And
Wow.
they were, like, you'd think
They were
would have
locked in
rocked
as
up
well.
5 minutes forward. They rocked up so locked in. Earliest Ado Basta has ever been to a game, I think. Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know what happened, to be honest.
Well, I think it was the culmination of like the Roosters boys. They definitely got inspired by what we said. And again, I said, I thought Raptors white were going to win it. Still was bleeding Roosters. And yeah, when I was watching the live stream before I got down, I couldn't really believe my eyes. But I think it was opening the count with Josh McGlue with 2 ridiculous goals. And I think he got another goal that was disallowed, which might have been the goal of the year. I don't know if any of you have seen that.
One.
Oh, he's done a nutmeg rinse sort of move, pulled it, jailed it, disallowed. I wasn't sure if it was for a previous foul or something, or the buzzer. Insane goal.
Too good. It had to be
Insane
Do you
goal.
have a rough timestamp of that, maybe, that the viewer can check out the full?
No, they're going to have to watch the whole game, I reckon.
I think you got to do that.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah.
There we go.
full watch through.
But the Gorilla Glue, as he's known, Josh McGlue, sort of kept everything ticking for.
But just everyone was on.
Roosters
I mean,
side.
James Hollingsworth in net.
phenomenal.
That man had
Phenomenal.
probably the craziest day. And again, massive statement. I reckon he had one of the craziest days we've ever seen
Yep.
in the
It'll go down in
history of
history.
Summer League.
Yep.
3 grand final wins in a row.
Yeah, in a day.
What-
Some
in a day.
haven't got
What
that
are
in
you
their
doing?
lifetime. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was phenomenal for him. He was buzzed. I think that was the most happy he could have been because they went in really going, this is the toughest one of the 3.
100%.
And I think everything had just gelled from I think when you could see it from Chriso's coaching philosophy, just defend as a unit of 5. There was no overcommitting and just frustrated Raptors white to a ridiculous level because you just saw them throwing balls after another into the middle and there was just Roosters guys there ready. And then as soon as you hit a McGlue or someone else like a Sam up forward, not that he's the quickest of them, they'd be goals. It was
They got the
nuts.
lead. White had to play desperate floorball and it doesn't really work in the grand final.
No.
It was one of those games that when you were watching it, you could almost feel like what was going on for the Raptors white. 'Cause I think we've all had those games
could
where
you could
where
see
you're
the
like, I'm
frustration.
doing almost everything. We're
And it's just
progressing
not
the ball
going
out of
my
D,
way.
and it's just not going in the net whatsoever. And it seems like everything that they're doing is
If they
just,
got it forward, they'd get it past
Yeah.
the brick wall in net. So it's
Exactly.
like, man.
Exactly.
And that's one of the things that's happened like last year when Sharks and Roosters played. If you get goals on early on a keeper, very quickly they sort of fall out of the game. And then it's almost like you get 2 quick ones, it's all over. Sometimes it's very difficult for them to get back in the mental state. And it becomes this, all the goals that they're usually saving, it's a bit tougher. So yeah, that was a wild one.
Yeah, and I think we talked before the game about the promotion push by that Raptors side, but not to be. Maybe they'd heard our words and fearful of men's Div 1. I think you were saying that off camera, weren't you, Pat?
Yeah, I did recall that.
Yeah, and maybe it was that because they didn't seem their usual selves
No.
at all. out there. Not enough.
They are a
not
team
enough
that
rough and
have
tumble.
no interest in playing Div 1 though. So, I mean, all
Well, maybe
of
they
them
can win
are-
Div 3 because they struggled in Div 2. So
Yeah,
maybe
that's
it's the
Maybe we
D-rate.
put White
Maybe
down to Div
James
3.
White.
I'd love to see it.
Maybe JSL. Who knows?
Sammy Claire's running around in the threes.
They'd have to put in a
please.
serious exemption to get
We'd
that.
need even more
yeah.
exemptions.
Maybe
yeah.
maybe that's already typed up in the draft emails as we speak. But then moving on, it was Div 3, and that was Roosters versus Pirates.
Blue.
Yep.
What a
And
game.
yeah, another ripper.
I enjoyed that game. I enjoyed. I reckon that was maybe my favourite one of the day. Actually,
wow.
I was just watching
It's
that
a
one on my
big call.
phone, going. I was just having a nice Sunday, having that on in the background. The commentary was lovely. It was a nice back and forth kind of
Who do we have on that game?
kind of game. Oh, it was again. All the kids' voice sound.
It's just the
they
Piranhas.
sound the
It's
same.
just Piranhas
all of their voices.
commentating.
I believe that one was T Money, Tom Meyer, not T Money, the other one, and
Flynn Craig.
Flynn
Flynn
Craig.
it was, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
I think they got the voice for it. I really do. But I loved that game. I was a bit disappointed with the result, I'll be honest. But
Did you want a closer game, or you just didn't want Roosters to win? I think you tipped
bit
Roosters.
of column
No.
A, bit of column B. You know,
Who did you tip in the end?
I think I tipped Pirates.
Yeah, that's
That
another
was the
prediction.
hardest game to tip.
I
definitely.
did, and I said Jason Petty hat trick.
And you
to win it in
said
overtime.
he'd climb on top of the goal cage and do the
WWE move.
stuff.
Yes.
Disappointed I didn't see
No,
that.
I know.
You built that game up so much
Well,
for
there
me.
wasn't
and
really the huge hit in that
no,
game.
there was no big. Everyone was quite well behaved. And again, considering the past of that matchup in grand finals,
Yeah, expecting a
it
bit of heat.
was everyone was quite well behaved.
Yeah. Wackett rocked up in his lovely Peaky Blinders sort of attire.
as he does.
He looked amazing.
He did. He
Yep.
did. They were all going to recreate that for the awards night, but I didn't see too
Really?
many
no,
actually
I
commit to it.
saw he did though.
He might have.
As well,
He
you know,
was in his peaky.
I think that's
blinders,
his
yeah,
Monday
yeah.
to Sunday wear.
Yeah,
so
I was going to say, some say the cap came first, and the rest of him just grew from it. But he looked $1 million. I got to say, I don't know if maybe Pirates didn't have a suited man there coaching. Maybe
I wasn't
He
sure.
definitely
Who-
needed it. I mean, they don't have a coach. Pirates Blue, they don't train either.
Ah.
By reports of Jason Petty, no,
But they do
don't
have
train,
they do have that
rock up.
squadron that's probably played a
yeah.
good 10, 15 years of floorball.
Again, I was impressed. Half of them rocked up before the game started. I've refed them a couple times. The team rocks up 5 minutes before and get a win. It's very impressive.
There's only a few the top level teams that can do that in this league. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, legends. But yeah, as it turned out, another win to Roosters, and Jim Bone Jones goes back to back.
And he goes, but yep.
And you could see in the second game, he was definitely getting a bit slower on the knees and feeling it a bit more.
Okay, who was your because you picked
I picked Roosters as well.
No, but you picked young Caleb Elkin to
to get a hat
to
trick.
stand
Yeah.
out,
Yep.
which I noticed.
I think the big moment got to him.
yeah.
And there were kids there with signs and everything with that call on
I
the
know,
signs.
I
and,
know.
you know,
See
Yeah,
that?
there was a
No, I
sign.
didn't see that. No.
Yeah.
that was funny. I like that.
Yeah,
missed
but
that.
there was a moment actually, I think, where because Jason must have listened as well. He, I think he stripped Caleb and he gave him the Matumbo finger shake, gave him the no, and it was quite funny to see. Yeah, Jason still got a little bit of chat in him. Who would have
Oh,
thought?
he does. Yep.
Love that, man.
But yeah, Roosters won, so back to back, and then it led into the Div 1 game, which, if I recall, you were the ref, mate.
I was. Yep.
Talk us from the ref perspective.
Self-appointed.
Self-appointed, very nice. No Singaporean refs this year. Not in the budget.
No, look, it clashed with the qualifiers. So we had both Singaporeans out. We had Pedot out. We had a couple others away, a couple others unavailable. So I was like, look, here we are.
Yep.
Put myself and Jacko on it.
Oh, I was going to say the bar tab at the awards night lasted a bit longer, so I wonder if maybe the Singaporean refs hadn't come at the expense of that.
Did that add the thousands of dollars onto the bar tab?
That's-
Maybe.
Maybe.
That's maybe what I was thinking. I well done to FWA. I
Yeah.
think if so.
So
yeah.
do we want the professional reffing or do we just want beers?
Well, I think we got the professional refereeing pat, and that's
Yeah.
what we're talking about. They just,
And we got more beers
We
as
just
well.
you know as you
It
were
was a
saying,
win-win.
as you were
It's
saying
a
before,
win-win.
we don't need to go outside of our borders to get in talented people in jobs in WA. You know, that's what you were saying.
Yep.
Maybe so.
Locally sourced talent. And it was you and
Jackson Geddes.
Sexy Jackson.
Mr. Geddes, yep.
Yep, the Gettysburg Address,
That's a new one.
as he's known.
As he's known,
I've
really.
heard that
As
before.
he's
No.
known, yeah. Given by Abraham Lincoln at the Battle of Gettysburg.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
but from an umpiring point of view, how did you find that game?
It's
What
a
was your?
refereeing point of view, not an umpiring point of view.
Ah.
But,
Could you explain the difference?
Yeah,
There
yeah,
is
okay.
last part.
Yeah, what is
Because
this?
you know, to the layman, maybe they don't
There
see.
is no difference between an umpire and a referee. That's the take. But different sports have different names for them.
I see.
Cool.
And in floorball, it
There
is
is very
a-
different, but it's a referee in floorball.
Really?
There you go.
So
It's
what
a
would
very sensitive topic.
Do you know how's it split up? Like, is it ball sports get a referee?
I've actually
and-
had to think about this before, and I've gone, "What is the deal here?" Honestly, I have no clue because I have no idea. There's no correlation at all, really. Like
Interesting.
No, I'm just.
Even if there's
yeah.
a single, maybe it's a referee and an umpire. But no, sometimes there's a single referee. Sometimes there's a single umpire.
And umpires are at
Sometimes
tennis.
there's a
so-
pair. I have no idea.
And a referee is in WWE. He's a referee.
Yeah.
Yep.
So maybe that's a similar. Maybe you could get into WWE refereeing.
Maybe I
That
could.
I think that'd be
the
an
skills-
absolute-
I could
The
see you in
skills
the
are
shirt.
transferable. Yeah.
I could see you in this shirt. Well, I remember
we
doing
definitely do
a
it.
refereeing, not an umpiring course, of course, a
Oh, it's a
refereeing.
refereeing
course.
course,
And
yeah.
I remember P-Dot saying the most important thing when you're refereeing is that there's a string from the back of your
Yep, and
head
it holds you up.
all the way to the roof, and I think that is very transferable from sport to sport.
You just
So.
have to look.
So
don't you?
yeah,
That's what you
maybe
have to do.
there is something. And also, you guys, you were mic'd up for the game as well.
Yes, of course.
Does that make much of a difference? From
massive
your...
difference?
Yeah?
Yeah, huge difference because you're just talking to each other the whole time. You're just having a chat.
What do you mean having a chat? Yeah. What do you mean?
Where
Where
are our
full
fees
comments
really
about
going?
the game. No, it's good to see what each other are looking at. What you're both calling, how you're seeing things.
I'm going to picture. I can believe I can hear the both of you saying, "Jesus, Christian Newland's playing good today." That would have been going through the mic a few times.
Oh my god, said his number too many times that day. I was getting very sick of it.
Yeah.
He did have a good
but
game.
no, look from a reffing perspective, excellent game. It was played hard in the first period. Of what was it, 4-2 going into the first break. Pirates scored the first.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
they
I
did,
thought, oh, here we go. And then on the response, I think it got to 3-1. I think they conceded 3, maybe got to 3-2 or something.
Yeah, I
But
think it was.
3-1,
I think it was.
3-1.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
closer than that going into
no,
the second
Pirates
period.
had an awesome first 10 minutes. They were right with you. And I was thinking this is going to be a really close game. And then you guys, obviously, did Chriso things.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome game. I actually, to be honest, I thought the qualifying final 2 weeks before was better game.
Not surprised.
Obviously, went 7-6 in
Overtime.
OT. That was an awesome game. Played at a really high physical level, physical but fair. But then grand final. I think. Look, you guys got on again. First period was awesome. You guys got on top of them. Third period, it's sort of got a bit messy, but still awesome victory for you guys for what finished the 5-peat or something ridiculous.
It's pretty good. I actually have the
I'm
the
sure
trophy
you do.
here. So
I'm sure you do.
There it is. Is it already
And you're on the
engraved?
back of it as well.
Yeah,
On the
so
back of it.
and we've actually found out. We'd always talked about, Pirates with miraculous 6 in a row. 6 is a myth.
Really?
No team in FWA has won more than 5 in a row. So next season would be historic for us to go
That would
for
be,
the 6-peat.
Jeez.
So yeah, 6 is a myth, but we'll wait and see what happens next season. So
Tell you what I'm not a fan of though. Your little engravement being on the back.
I know.
Can we not go Stanley
And-
Cup
and
style?
also-
Can we not like build?
There's this other curiosity I have. Crouch, you might know a bit about the state of this trophy.
I do not.
There's this
Crouch,
woodworking
what happened to the statue?
incident on the
trophy?
side.
That
I
has
don't know if you could
That has
explain.
nothing to do with me.
Are you sure? Are you claiming the
whatsoever.
5th?
I have recommended to Floorball WA that they get a new trophy for that one. But just for the record, I was not involved in the damaging or otherwise injury of said trophy.
You believe this was injured? It might have just split
it's
over
just been a
time.
wear
but-
and tear, I think,
Okay.
over time, and I had nothing to do with it.
Okay, swear on your
I'll
heart.
take your word for it.
I have nothing to do with it. In fact, I know you.
No.
you're messing
I think
around with
there's some CCT evidence that would contradict a bit of this, but I'm not gonna out you here.
No,
You've
I
made
think
your
it's
made your
high
bed.
time for a new trophy.
Yeah, I think a Stanley Cup
We need a
equivalent.
Stanley Cup style trophy. Yeah.
regardless.
Yeah, but it was good. What were your thoughts on it?
But there we go. The game itself,
Yeah.
I think the commentary was amazing.
The commentary was amazing.
I think if you are going to watch it back, turn the speakers up. Really, just sit back, close your eyes. You don't need to watch. Just enjoy. But it was, obviously
Like a Deepak Chopra meditation course almost. Just listen to the two of you,
it
you
was
and
slightly-
Isaac.
Slightly
speaking.
ASMR type vibe behind it. I think the game was good, as you kind of said. It did get to the sort of blowout point.
Yeah,
I
it
think
got a little bit ugly.
I think
Yeah.
late in the second, you were pretty much like it's done. Like Christian Newland was just crap.
6 goals in a. What is that?
I think, as you
Like,
said,
what actually is
probably
that?
the best performance since Luca Rahill's brother did it quite a few years
Who's
Doesn't
ago.
have a
is-
first name.
Stefan Luca?
Someone said that at the award.
Stefan Rahill.
Well, I remember you saying that at the award night, and then someone said, I think it was Stefan or
Stefan,
something like
yeah.
that. Apparently, he's quote really good at hockey. So
But 6 goals
There
back
you
then
go.
at the league, I don't really know what the league would have looked like about 15, 20 years ago.
But I think for Chris O's, every goal was better than the last as
Yep,
well.
yep.
It was insane.
Oh, yeah.
It was good to see someone else get on the scoreboard, I think, for goal
Yeah,
7.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
quite a relief.
Yeah, and I think as well, he if you guys had kept the foot on the gas, I reckon he could have gotten another 3-4 goals, to be honest. Like, there was definitely a moment where it was sort of the game just depleted a little bit in terms of intensity.
I think the
and
job had
quality a
been
little
done.
bit.
It was
Yeah, exactly. But I think Chris O could have, because all of his goals were pretty much scored by about halfway through the game.
Yep.
Like,
We'd got a hat trick within 10 minutes
Yeah, it was
or less.
It was absolutely
Well,
ridiculous.
this was like the Melvin Ing hat trick from the prelim finals, I believe, for Pirates Blue Div 3.
Oh,
He scored a hat trick in the opening. I think it was like the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game. It's crazy.
Melvin
stuff.
and Christian.
So there you go, Melvin and
Same
Christian.
level.
Maybe Chris O had seen Melvin play and
inspired.
inspired, yeah.
Crazy goal scoring things going on in the last few weeks of the season.
Yeah. And so that brings, in terms of our predictions for makes all of mine, I think I got 1 from 4.
No, I think you got.
I think I got 1. I think
you
I
got
got Roosters
1
and
from
Men's Div
4.
1.
That's it.
And
And I
you
got
know,
3.
call me a
I
bit
got
of-
3 out of 4.
Call me a bit of a soothsayer for saying that Roosters will win Men's Div 1. Actually, I'm pretty knowledgeable. I've got ball knowledge on that.
I always had the insider knowledge for some reason.
No, but yeah, obviously you were 3
I was 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
And I know it was actually quite fascinating, the amount of feedback we got even first thing Sunday morning from people, letting them know that we were wrong and we were right. And look, that was good to see. The community got around it pretty quickly. And as we've talked about many times, people over the last couple of weeks, we'll be doing plenty of off-season chats. You know, floorball might be going away. Winter League, we might get a bit of
Winter
updates.
League, is it happening?
Well,
Do we know?
yeah, who knows?
I was going to say, the real ones know that Winter League is what it's all about.
Yep.
That's summer, floorball's a winter sport.
Do you play for Piranhas or something now? Is that what?
There might have been a few contracts signed, a few deals done, a few Hungry Jack's burgers exchanged. We can say that much and that much only. But yeah, it sort of wraps up the summer league season quite nicely. Obviously, as we've mentioned, we had the awards night nigh on 2 days ago.
Yep.
Pat, you were sort of left there decorated. You looked a bit like Mr. T at the end of the night.
there was
So
a bit
gold
going on.
chains
Yeah.
everywhere. Referee of the year, volunteer of the year.
Yeah.
Anything else that was added to that? I mean, obviously,
I
women's Div 2 coach.
I actually took out the Adrian Bastar MVP for Div 2. I took his medal.
Very
home as well,
nice.
So I was coming home with a surplus as well.
Yeah.
you
Have
go.
you still got them all? Because I know you were in
No,
fine form leaving.
So Josh Hay stole my. Well, I say stole. I think I might have given it to him. My Volunteer of the Year medal. So Josh Hay, I'm chasing it.
Wow. Wait, you gave it away, but now you want it back?
Yes, I think I gave it
Interesting.
away. It's foggy.
Oh.
like a proper volunteer does.
Yes,
It gives
yeah,
away
yeah.
their time.
Doesn't need the
I'm
credit.
volunteering my time,
And
man.
when
I
you
just-
had your speech, when you accepted the award, what was going through your mind when you were speaking to the
I
crowd,
just
the
wanted
audience?
to thank operations and all their work, because I've sort of been a de facto operations member, I guess, by doing the refs, by sorting the refs out. So I just wanted to say thank you to them.
Nice.
All very civil.
Yeah.
I don't know if anything could be heard. It was very hard to hear anything that was happening. I don't know if you heard that problem, Crouch, at the awards night.
Yeah,
I couldn't
I
hear a word BK was saying.
That's
It was-
fair.
I didn't hear a thing, but,
Not loud
but it was
enough,
great.
BK.
It was
You were
great.
my audience, clearly.
That's right. But I was just, and Ben, that makes you obviously the only person sitting around this table not to win the Volunteer of the Year award.
Yeah, I guess it's good on you two. I think you guys are pioneering for the sport
Yeah,
and
yeah.
putting in a lot of effort. So
I think if
you can
start,
keep going.
it's all right. We believe.
I'm
in
surprised you both actually don't have them on just to flex it. But I guess you guys got medals and I've just got trophies.
Well, I was going to say I have mine framed, so it'd be a bit hard to kind of get it out of that scenario.
Mother
Yeah.
dearest did a
Josh
good
Hayes
job.
still has mine, so yeah,
There you
Put it
go.
on,
But get it
can't
back.
I? Yeah.
get
Do
it-
you
get
really
it
think you're going to
framed
get
out.
back from Josh Hay?
Oh no, that's his. Yeah, that's
yeah.
his.
Mm.
He's not letting go of anything.
Yeah. But yeah, that sort of concluded the whole activities and the season.
Yeah, the
hey?
season as a whole.
Big
And
season. It's a long season. isn't
another
it?
classic, but I don't know what. I've got this feeling next season.
Prediction, here it comes.
here we
I
go.
know.
You've got a real good, strong track record of predictions.
I think the next season's going to be the biggest and the best yet. I don't know why. I've just got a feeling. I reckon Florida WA is just going to pull out some new venue that we've never even heard of. There'll be something that just comes out of left
gonna be
field,
something.
does everything. Maybe there'll be like a new club next season. Maybe not. Maybe more teams in the higher divisions, more players, more people. I just can't wait.
Well, there
to
you
be
go.
honest.
You heard it here first, ladies and gents.
I can't wait. I don't know about you guys.
But
It's
again,
gonna
if
be
this
big.
is a Crouch prediction, I'd take it with a grain of salt because not
Oh,
many of them come
he
true.
doesn't have a good
So I think
record,
if you said
doesn't
the
he?
opposite, it'd go down here. We could have an all ripper season.
All right,
but
fine. Next season's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
All right,
We're
it's
on
gonna
for a
be-
good run
it's
now.
It's going to be shocking. It's going to be small season. It's going to be terrible.
It's going to be small, guys.
That's right. But no, I can't wait for October to get here, boys. And all I can say is the best is yet to come.